everybody. Welcome back to Thumb on the Pulse. My name's Thumbspazm. This is a news segment where we deliver you the news on gaming industry news, business gaming news, Twitch news, streamer news, all that type of industry stuff. We culminate it all right here on this weekly news channel called Thumb on the Pulse. This is where we kind of culminate all the news and try to deliver the best of the best, or the most interesting news rather, to you guys in a weekly and efficient manner. I think I stumble over that a lot. If you're here for the first time, welcome in for the live recording. If you're checking us out on YouTube, please click those buttons down below, the like button, the subscribe button, and that bell to see when we get new news stories out and other video clips on the channel. So let's get going with all the news that gets my heart racing here on Thumb of the Pulse. Let's go, babies. As I've said already, welcome back to Thumb on the Pulse, guys. I appreciate you spending all this time with me and choosing to get your gaming industry and streamer news from this source. It means the world to me. Love you, beautiful beings, very much. We're just going to dive right into it. We're going to dive right into the first story already. We don't have any console news to get started with today. No new information on Xboxes or PS5s. However, we have been reporting on this first story a lot lately, so let's kind of see what the newest update is with CD Projekt Red and all the lawsuits that are going on with them. CD Projekt Red recently did provide an update regarding the ongoing suits, writing in a translated blog post that the court has consolidated the lawsuits now and appointed a lead plaintiff. Following this consolidation, all 4 lawsuits that are currently pending against CD Projekt Red will be subject to potential common court proceedings. 2 of these lawsuits that are against CD Projekt were well documented back in December of 2020 and the beginning of this year in January. As you guys know, being regular viewers of Thumb on the Pulse, you probably have heard these updates already. However, the new news on this is that this consolidated lawsuit by investors who claimed they were misled regarding the state of the playability of Cyberpunk 2077 on the last gen consoles, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4s, respectively. The other 2 lawsuits that are part of this 4 lawsuit amalgamation or what have you, the other 2 lawsuits weren't detailed in the post, but given that they're bundled together with the other 2, it's presumable that these are all the investor lawsuits we had talked about beforehand. CD Projekt said in January that it would be taking vigorous action to defend themselves against all of these lawsuits shortly after that second lawsuit was brought against the studio, and just 3 weeks after the first lawsuit had actually started to kick things off. Small background on these cases in case you aren't familiar with them. Real quick, Cyberpunk 2077 had a relatively successful launch on PC, but had an onslaught of bugs and errors with the game. This tainted an otherwise great start off. It was a completely different story for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, however. Both consoles found the game entirely unplayable and were promptly offering tons of people refunds through Sony, Microsoft, and through CD Projekt Red themselves. Despite all these issues, the game still managed to sell 13 million copies in the first few months. Bugs are still being patched for this game as we speak, and in fact, the last major update fixed 484 bugs on the PC alone. That's insane. That doesn't even include any of the bugs on PS4 or Xbox One or any of the next-gen consoles. Hopefully, we'll be bringing you more news on these lawsuits, seeing where they're headed and how they conclude. More business news as far as big companies are concerned. EA, or Electronic Arts, is forming a new studio. I can't tell you how many times we've reported on new studio developments this year alone, let alone last year. Former director from Monolith Productions and lead director on the Middle-earth series of games has been hired by EA to start a new studio focusing on open-world action-adventure games specifically. However, the studio does not have a name at the moment. Stevens, who worked as the studio head and productions vice president at Monolith Productions during the development of, like I had mentioned before, the Middle-earth franchise. The 2 entries into the series, Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, were praised for their combo-centric combat styles, the open worlds they presented, and the unique nemesis system that restructured its enemies' hierarchy. Stevens will be teaming up with Samantha Ryan, who was a former president for Monolith Games and is the current EA Senior VP. Funnily enough, in 2010, Frank Gibbo, not sure if I'm not pronouncing that one right, he was the former president at EA Games and once was stated that offline single-player games, quote, were dead and future lay in online marketing. Obviously, he has been proven thoroughly wrong at this point. There aren't many details about this new studio available at this moment, It could be an indication that EA is starting to understand this a little bit better, that single player games are still relevant. While this new team is still only in the beginning stages of the creation of this new game, it already has a strong track record with single player action title developers behind it. So we're really excited to see what this name is, and hopefully we'll get that inside scoop and release it as soon as we can. Moving on to a little bit more of rumored news and things we'd heard about in the past with imagery and rumored conversations. Now we have redacted transcripts and things like that. Xbox Game Pass is possibly coming to Nintendo Switch. During this Epic vs. Apple trial that we've been reporting a lot on lately, since it's been full of a lot of shocking revelations, revealing a ton of info both on Apple and Epic Games, as well as random companies like Steam and things like that, the trial has now revealed some redacted files that potentially contain hints at the potential of Xbox Game Pass going over to Nintendo Switch. However, nothing of the revealed portions of these statements have mentioned specifically or explicitly confirm that the subscription service would make its way onto the Nintendo Switch. There's a lot of assumptions that can be led by the way the dialogue is working and the conversations that were read that might hint that it will be. Vice President Phil Spencer from Microsoft has made it clear in the past that he fully intends to expand the scope of Xbox Game Pass as well as the Xbox X Cloud service onto more consoles. A tweet from Steven Totillo, who is a former editor-in-chief of the Kotaku website, Nintendo says these portions of these transcripts and depositions from the Epic versus Apple lawsuit have come out. They do reflect competitively sensitive information about negotiations between Nintendo and Microsoft. The Nintendo representative was primarily deposed about trying to bring xCloud to iOS and more broadly discussed console business. When responding to a question about those involved in the ongoing discussions, it was answered that primarily the Game Pass content team and other members of the gaming leadership team have been in talks about this. And of course, these comments don't confirm that Xbox Game Pass is coming to Nintendo Switch. It's merely re-emphasizing rumors that we've already begun to hear. Next up in the news, since we're talking about Microsoft, we might as well mention that things like that moving over to Nintendo Switch might be in the future because there's a lot of things to celebrate with Microsoft. This year, Microsoft Xbox and the Halo franchise are celebrating 20 years since their original launch. Alongside other events celebrating the 20th anniversary, like the 20th anniversary FanFest activities going on the consoles. Also, they're making available the original profile from the first Xbox through your customized profile option. Xbox and Microsoft are also revealing an entire anniversary merch spanning a wide variety of products. Included in this 20th anniversary line of merchandise is also some Halo anniversary merch. It should be noted that this is the first wave of the merchandise, and we're going to be seeing a whole slew of other opportunities to pick up 20th anniversary merchandise from now until November. The entire event is running through November with more announcements such as more activities, more ways to celebrate. You can visit xbox.com/20 years for more information. We'll definitely put that link in the description down below. But for up-to-date details on the anniversary and all the activities happening, please click down there or keep in touch with Thumb on the Pulse. Moving on to more breakthroughs and upgrades in regards to virtual reality, you guys know that I've been getting very much into VR ever since I purchased my Oculus Quest 2. The newest news, or rumors rather, in ingenuity and engineering for VR is the VR feet, I'm calling them. A Reddit user named DelPratVH has recently posted a short clip to his subreddit showing the potential for a step forward in virtual reality engineering. The looped video that we got uploaded to the R Gaming subreddit shows the user wearing a standard VR headset but has large, bulky shoe attachments on his feet. The video also continues to show us that the shoes appear to be on a track of wheels or almost like a treadmill type surface, and shows that the gamer can actually walk step by step in the game without physically moving his body forward or backwards. It seems absolutely amazing and yet still pretty clunky in its idea. However, the fact that this person did it in their living room and it works in VR is absolutely astounding. They seem to be testing it on the Oculus Quest 2 and using the game No Man's Sky to test out all of the opportunities that they had with their newest invention. But with 3D printer in the background of the video and this genuinely seeming to work in-game, I am absolutely ecstatic. I just hope that there is a better alternative for the harness that the gentleman's wearing in the video. It seems like he's harnessed directly to his ceiling in order to not allow his body to move forward. I really hope that just this video alone gets you guys excited for this. If there's a Kickstarter out there for this product, I will be investing. Absolutely no questions asked. Update on Twitch news. I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but we gotta report it since we stream on Twitch. Recently, a tweet from Twitch's Twitter posted that they're going to be rolling out one of the biggest changes in Twitch history, which will most likely help creators build larger, more global communities as opposed to keeping it localized. This is going to be called local subs pricing. And what this essentially means is that the price of a sub in most countries will be lowered starting with Mexico and Turkey as of May 17th. These first two countries, which will have their subscription prices changed on May 20th, will be bringing the subscription cost down in Mexico from 99 pesos to 48 pesos, and the subscription cost in Turkish lira will likewise drop from 42 to 10. Twitch has targeted these countries first specifically because they are home to creators and viewers who have been passionate about this change for quite some time. The Twitch subscription price adjustment will also affect Asia, Latin America, and the Middle East, Africa, and Europe as well, starting in the third fiscal quarter of 2021. Twitch is also confident that while subscription costs are being adjusted, content creators outside the US won't be hurt financially. Also, Twitch is planning to introduce a 12-month program that pays a certain amount of projected revenue to eligible content creators. So if you're interested in something like that, keep your eyes open for announcements from Twitch. Announcement of new games. Ghostrunner 2, a sequel to the 2019 title Ghostrunner, has been announced from 505 Games. That development on the sequel has begun. The follow-up of this game is offering a blend of frantic swordplay, fast-paced free running, and a dystopian sci-fi storytelling. Because of the huge hit that it was last year, should continue to be a hit this year. The game will launch on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S, while it's been confirmed that 505 Games has invested $5 million. Let me rephrase that. 5 million euro, which is more than $5 million, into the sequel's development as just an initial budget. So keep your eyes open for this title. It should be awesome. Another title I'm super excited to tell you guys about, and it looks absolutely intriguing with a great storyline and graphics, is called Lies of P. This is a Pinocchio story-based game by developer Round 8 Studio and publisher NeoWiz. Lies of P is a Souls-like action RPG that's inspired by the story of Pinocchio. It doesn't have a release quite yet or even a release window, but it will be released on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC when it's done. The developers describe the gameplay as having a unique lie system where you do and say things as the main character that will dynamically affect the gameplay. Some are calling it the Dark Souls Pinocchio game. The development team is over 60 people and they're still hiring with the intent of making a Souls-like game that competes with any of the best Souls-like games that are on the market now. I'm super excited because Pinocchio has always been one of my favorite storylines, and the fact that they're calling this unique lie system integral to the game, I'm really excited to play it and really excited to get my hands on it. Let's hope there's a demo. All right, moving on to the rest of games we wanted to announce, making sure that you guys are aware of all the new releases that are coming out. On the Switch, Miitopia will be released on May 21st. On PS4 and Xbox One, we'll get the Rust Console Edition on the 21st as well. On PC, PS4, and Switch, as of May 25th, we'll be getting Biomutant, as well on Switch on the 25th, we'll be getting the game Maneater. May 25th is a big day because it also will have Saints Row, the third remastered edition on PS5 and Xbox, as well as Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne on May 24th as well. That'll be on PS4, PC, and Switch. Also, the big moment, free game time. Free games time, guys. We got a huge announcement from Epic Games. They're, as of right now, offering NBA 2K21, which is still a $60 to $80 game, depending on where you live, absolutely for free. So if you're interested in trying any sports titles on PC, now's the chance, because NBA 2K21 has been awesome from what I've played so far, and I really recommend you get into it if you're absolutely interested at all. It's a free game. You'll have it free forever. Give it a shot. More free games that are coming out on Game Pass. The next batch will be on May 20th. We'll see Peggle 2, Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville, Secret Neighbor, and the new release, The Wild at Heart, coming to Game Pass. On the 21st of May, they'll be bringing an in-depth fishing game to the platform called The Catch, Carp and Corpse, as well as Knockout City. Speaking of Knockout City, I want to mention this one right now because they have a very interesting strategy to launch the game. Knockout City is a brand new game that'll be available on all platforms as of May 21st. The neat thing about this cross-platform game is that it's going to be free for the first 10 days on launch. Dubbed Block Party, it's described as a festival-style event which will offer the entire game for 10 days. There aren't going to be any caps on how much you play or how many awards you can get. All of the maps and all of the playlists will be wide open, and if you decide you want to buy the game during this Block Party event, you'll get a ton of free stuff that won't be offered after the 10-day period. You'll get an epic outfit, as well as hairstyles, glasses, and gliders. introductory poses, knockout effects, and 500 holoblocks, which is a monetary system within the game. These stack with rewards you've already earned, as well as the items to come and the deluxe edition that you'll get. Super excited to try this game. I'm basically dubbing this the Fortnite of Dodgeball. If you're interested to play with me or any of my friends as it comes out, download the game when it comes out because it'll be free, at least for 10 days. Game updates specifically on 3 titles that we wanted to talk about. Grand Theft Auto 5. Rockstar has announced that Grand Theft Auto 5 and its online spin-off will both be launching on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X as of November 11th. Grand Theft Auto Online, meanwhile, will still be available as a standalone title, and Sony previously said that it would be free for all PS5 owners during the first 3 months of its availability. So if you're a fan of GTA 5, get ready for all of those graphic updates for the Xbox Series X and S, as well as the PlayStation 5. Speaking of dealing with what we've got, I will have to do that with The Last of Us. However, it is getting finally its huge, big graphic upgrade for PlayStation 5. It is going to be a free upgrade that takes the form of a 299 megabit patch. It's called version 1.08. This will automatically update the PlayStation 4 version of the game, offering PS5 users the chance to play the game in a true 60 frames per second. And lastly, an upgraded game that'll be, in my opinion, so much fun and absolutely interesting, Metro Exodus. The new Metro Exodus PC Enhanced Edition will be using ray tracing technology. Ray tracing, if you're unfamiliar with the technology, is a unique technique of sending out numerous rays or straight lines from an in-game object into a scene and collecting data from other objects that they come in contact with. This allows for more information for a game engine to digest from a scene, especially the game objects that aren't currently in a immediate player's view. In many games, ray tracing is implemented in a variety of small ways, like the game Control we just got done playing and gave away for free earlier. That one focused heavily on reflections, be it off of shiny surfaces or translucent glass. Other titles use it for lighting, in the case of the game Returnal, for many of its tiny little particle effects. The reason ray tracing is implemented sparingly is that it can be a drag on graphical performance in machines. This enhanced edition for Metro Exodus, through a free update to all players on PC, features a completely reworked version of this game running on a new version of its engine with that ray tracing as a core feature. This is hoping to lead to a drastic change in the game's visual presentation as well as immersion. I wasn't super interested in trying the game beforehand. However, reading more about the title and these new graphical upgrades, it may be time to give it a shot. Well, that's it, guys. That's the long and short of it. That's Thumb on the Pulse this week. I hope you guys learned something. But if you didn't, please comment down below and let us know what you'd like us to report on next time. If you see any news in the social media, hashtag it with hashtag TOTP so I can check it out and maybe include it next week. If you guys haven't signed up with the Discord, I do have a gaming news section there that you can include articles that you'd like me to talk about. If you did like this stuff or you did learn something today, please comment down below that as well. Also click that like button, the subscribe button, and maybe the little alert bell so you can get notifications the next time we post. Other than that, my name's Thumbspazm. Thank you guys for being here again. This has been Thumb on the Pulse. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye-bye. We're pushing through. Here we go. A pretty common. Ooh, just minimized everything. That was not what I want to do. While this new team is only the beginning. While this new team, I'm gonna try that again. During the I did it again. Former executive editor-in-chief. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Ooh, I've missed some comments. Let me catch up real quick. That didn't make any sense.